So thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. And you heard already a lot about different risks of AI and problems. Today, I will focus mostly on the identity part of AI and the risks to our identity in AI age. So first of all, a bit about what we see about AI in the dark web and in the underground. Because the same way as you and each of us, when there is a new LLM models released, new AI solution, you are going to evaluate it. The same are cyber criminals. Every new solution is released, they are rushing to check it. I would say, for example, in the beginning of the year, there was a DeepSeek rush and Quen. I know Quen is less popular in our places, but on the dark web, Quen by Alibaba is extremely popular. And they love DeepSeek and Quen. Why? Because those don't have too much guardrails. Because as you can see here on the screenshot, and you know, the regular LM agents and the solutions have a lot of different guardrails that try to prevent attackers, cyber criminals, or just bad guys to use it for illicit purposes. So what cybercriminals use? They try to jailbreak each and every AI model. That's one thing that they are doing a lot of effort, and role-playing, harmful request, direct function invocation, and I would say maybe the most successful one is the survival mode. Telling now LLM models that I have had some airplane accident, and I'm now in the island, and I need your help to survive. To create a bomb, to create a cyanide, or even somehow to place it, create a cyber tool. Mostly, it still will work. And you can see there are a lot of discussions in the dark web on how to bypass different guardrails, because that's the easiest solution for cybercriminals. We see also a lot of malicious models. There are many names to this: Worm GPT, Ghost GPT, Fraud GPT, whatever you would like. Mostly those are either use API of regular models and jailbreak it, or they run locally hosted models. Those models are very cheap and available in the dark web. You can see here, if you see, subscriptions to Worm GPT is about $100 per month. Pretty easily available, even cheaper than the premium ChatGPT now. And it's jailbroken already. We see also a big trend in the dark web, specifically in 2025, is about self-hosted open source model. We see more and more. While in the beginning, it was mostly about jailbreaking the regular models or really using the Worm GPT with APIs, such stuff. Now we see more and more self-hosted open source models, either locally or VPS hosted. Because cybercriminals understood that that's the best solution. Because no one controls it, no one restricts it. There is full privacy for cybercriminals themselves, and even you don't need mostly to do too sophisticated jailbreaks. And there are many models: Kimi, K2, the models of Meta, and more. That's just one example. But now let's deep dive into how all this used for social engineering and identity theft. In our research, in Checkpoint Research, we did it in this way. We separated the media to text, audio, and video, and we tried to understand what are the AI capabilities now for offline generation of content, real-time, and fully autonomous generation of content, as you can see. And we will now go over the examples of it. What we actually see is already available. And when I'm saying available, it's not only by superpowers, Russia, China, United States, or something with supercomputers or quantum computers or whatever. It's available for $50 or $100 in the dark web. Very available and democratized even, let's say it this way. So first of all, about detection. There are already today a lot of discussion about phishing, because it's really the simplest one. There are no longer cultural or language barriers. Because in the past, how many of Russian cybercriminals did sophisticated phishing campaigns or call centers? They recruited mostly graduates, let's say, of English literature degree in Russian universities. And that was the preferred jobs for those people, to work in cybercrime call centers. The best paid job, maybe not preferred, but the best paid job. Now cybercriminals don't need to spend this money on this. They just use LLM models, AI, and do it even better. Also, now it's very easy to bypass the basic anti-spam filters, because AI allows you to fully randomize the same email or the same message you want to convey in the phishing email to hundreds of thousands of different emails that will look to basic anti-spam filters like different emails. So we saw in one of such services, the feedback of cyber criminals who used it was that the bypass rate for Gmail is about 80% of spam service that is using powered by AI. About 80% in the end of the day land in the inbox of the target. Now let's talk about more exciting part, the audio side. So first of all, it's now very, very easy to create an audio deepfake of your voice. I wrote here 10 minutes, but from what I see in the last weeks, it's much, much less. You don't need even 10 minutes of sample. I saw already services that you need between 1 to 2 minutes of your voice sample, and it's enough to create a deepfake of your voice. Very convincing one. There are also already academical researches that show that human brain is not able to differentiate between AI-generated voice to human voice. So we're just not able to understand if what we hear is AI or a human being. There are already some academical research. There are a lot of also scams that utilize it. I think the most common even in Israel, it's also, I can tell that both of my parents received it. It's receiving impersonating calls on behalf of your son or daughter, telling, I'm now had some car accident, especially if you're traveling to another country, and I'm now in emergency room, I need $5,000 to pay for initial treatment. There are a lot of such scams, and mostly the attackers, the fraudsters, of course it will be the voice of the person calling his parents. The person who is calling will know all the names of brothers, sisters of the parents, all this. It's extremely common in Israel. It's also common in US. FBI already issued several alerts about it, and it exists also almost in each and every country already, because it's very easy and it works very well, especially on elderly people that really tend to just reply and transfer the money. We also saw other more high-profile scams. For example, in Italy, in the beginning of this year, there was a call of a Minister of Defense of Italy to about a dozen of top businessmen in Italy, including Giorgio Armani, including the owner of the previous owner of Milan football club, and a lot of rich people that also know in person the Minister of Defense. And he asked them to donate $1 million to release Italian hostages in Iraq. Okay, and it's a real case. There were Italian hostages in Iraq, journalists. And he told, we don't want to pay government money for this. We want someone to donate and pay to terrorists. And one of those actually paid, because it really sounded like Minister of Defense. The same happened about 6 months ago with the Secretary of Foreign Affairs in the United States, Marco Rubio, that his voice impersonated and were calls to different senators asking for sensitive information in the US. So it happens already in the real world, and it is successful. Moreover, with beginning of this year, we identified a fully autonomous voice system in the dark web in one of the Russian forums that allows you just to write a goal. For example, to write to the system a basic prompt that please call this number, impersonate the electricity utility company in this country, and your goal is to get the payment card number of the other side on the call. And it is doing it fully autonomously. We had also a conversation with our avatars, with the vendor behind it, and he even provided us some samples of such conversation. It really works, and in this case, why it's autonomous, you don't need already to talk behind the scenes and it just changes your voice or write full scenarios, let's say, and edge cases. You just tell the goal, and that's all. The autonomous system knows all the other parts by itself, fully autonomously. By the way, this system is not very cheap. If you want to buy it, it's about $20,000. But you also can use it as a service. For each minute of the call, it's about $2, and for initial setup, $500. The same systems exist, you can see on the left of my left side, also exist now to steal from you the one-time codes for banks, that basically to push some code to be sent to you by SMS, and then this system is executing the call, impersonating the bank, the IT help desk if you are working in a corporation or something, and asking for your call and doing all the conversation. All this already exists in the dark web and almost democratized. You don't need to be Russia or China or United States to execute such operations. Now let's talk about the third dimension, the visual one. So one of the most common things I guess most of you encounter is KYC, know your customer, whether in social media, Facebook, Instagram, and others, or in banks, PayPal, or something like this, asking you to verify, or crypto exchanges, also very important, asking to verify your identity with a photo or short video with your ID in the right hand and specific gesture in the left hand. So in the dark web, there are already full AI integrations to maybe the most common services like on Fido, Samsung, and Jumio that are helping to bypass those verifications. And you can see it's for $150. Again, very cheap and easy. I would say the most common use we see is for cryptocurrency, to unfreeze frozen funds in different crypto exchanges or crypto accounts. But it's also used for PayPal, banks, social media, and other stuff. It's already there. We also see some more creative scams, like for Israel, I will say it's DoorDash for US, or Wolt scams, that you receive a delivery of hamburger and then use AI to show the hamburger wasn't cooked and get refund. That you see, it's a real example from last month that is running really widely in the US. It's a very common scam now. And there are already in Hong Kong full-scale cybercrime rings that operating using AI, and some of them were already arrested. So it's already there. It's not just theoretical theory or just postal services in the dark web. People and attackers and cyber criminals use it already. I think the most famous case, I'm sure some of you heard about it. It happened already more than a year ago for a UK company that is operating in Asia Pacific. That there was a meeting of executives of the company, CEO, CFO, accountant, Zoom meeting of more than 10 minutes. And then on this meeting, the CFO asked the accountant to transfer $25 million or 20 million pounds to some account as part of the deal. The accountant transferred it, and after it, he got that it wasn't his CFO. It was a deep fake. Again, and it was a video call on Zoom of 10 minutes between people that know each other. It's not the first call, and it worked on them. I think that's currently the biggest documented, let's say, scam using AI by damage, at least. There are a lot of others, and I'm sure there are more such cases that just are not publicly documented, because many companies don't have any reason to tell publicly they fell into a scam. But this went public, and I think it's one of the biggest cases. About the real-time thing. So there are two things here. One thing is about job interviews. What we see is a tendency in the last year plus, especially by North Korea, to infiltrate Western organizations, especially software companies, IT companies, and work on them, North Korean hackers. And how all the recruitment process is done mostly via Zoom, Teams, and such, and via deepfakes. And they became highly professional on this, and they infiltrated hundreds already of American and European companies this way. Why North Korea is doing it? Because first of all, it brings foreign money, salaries to North Korea, which under sanctions, when big European or American companies pay a salary, and it's also insider. An insider in big software companies, big IT companies, supply chain to other sectors, and more of this. The LinkedIn post here, I saw it in my LinkedIn. Someone posted it. A guy who interviewed to a position in his company. The guy who interviewed was on the right, and on the left is the candidate. And during the interview, he thought something is very strange with the picture, and he asked the candidate to do a specific gesture. And then all the video broke into pixels. And he understood it was kind of all the interview, he interviewed deepfake. So the technology for live and the autonomous videos is still not perfect, but it's already there. I can tell also a very interesting statistic from UK. That because most of the colleges in UK require some video interviewing process. So there are statistics from last year that almost 1% of interviews for UK higher education institution were utilizing them deepfakes of candidates. So think about the scale of UK higher education, that it's hundreds of thousands of candidates there. So it means that there are already thousands of annual cases that people try to apply to colleges and universities in UK using deepfakes. So it's already common and works well. So to summarize, as you can see, the same table I showed you, almost on all the parts, you can see V. It's already there in 2025. The only thing we still don't see as a perfect is autonomous videos. I do expect in 2026 that it's very close already. In a few weeks, we already will have V on this. So next time, think about everything you read, hear, or see in a digital dimension. And think twice whether you can believe to it or not. Thank you.